Hey Carp Geeks, kind of an interesting one. I got an email from Jason at JVA Carpy Adventures. Now Jason is a blogger and a YouTuber, has a very nice channel, and Jason got in touch, wanted to test our impulse products. So without any money changing hands, we provided Jason with a few free samples, and he'd give us an honest appraisal how he got on with them. And what I got here is a copy of his video, and I've added some comments along the way, and it's actually quite educational. Jason, once he figures it out, he does really well, although there were a couple of teething problems along the way, which I'll discuss. All right, so without further ado, let's get to the video.
Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpy Adventures, and this week I'm bringing you another product that I'm going to review. Now let me give you a little bit of background to it. So I'm always watching YouTube, and I came across a carpology video about biosource bait. Now these are essentially bait attractants that are derived from amino acid. So basically I watched a couple of videos, basically one with a guy from Angling Times and the carpology one. So I hopped along onto their website, had a look at a lot of their impulse range, and was quite interested by it, I've got to be honest. So I got in touch with the main co-founder there, Patrick Mills, who's a doctor, and he's actually been perfecting this recipe for 12 years now, effectively. I'll go into probably more detail as I get through the review, but I just want to do this introduction bit. So I got in touch with him and said to him, look, would you mind sending me some products for me to do a review on my channel? Now I'm sure he probably was interested in me doing a side-by-side comparison, or that sort of thing, but that's just been done by the carpology guys, so I don't want to do the exact same thing. And obviously I fish mouse hole very frequently, and sometimes I have quite mixed results. Sometimes I catch, sometimes I blank. So I thought, well, I'm at mouse hole this weekend, so let's give the products a try there. I'm in a swim that I know fairly well, swim 7, so I have done okay in swim 7. I have blanked in swim 7, so I thought, rather than do a side-by-side comparison, I'm going to do a test over a few sessions, at least 2, but I want one to be at mouse hole, one not to be at mouse hole, and see how I fare. So I haven't actually seen what products they've sent me yet. I've got a box in front of me, guys. I've been on holiday for a week, so I've come back, seen the box, thought, right, let me do the intro to it. Now obviously this is all stuff sort of backed by science, guys. So they do liquid, paste, gel and pellets now, but the idea is you use their liquid to soak either your pellets or your hook baits or stuff like that, and it releases amino acid into the water column that should attract you hopefully twice as many carp as you'd catch normal. That's the spill. They also do paste and they do gel, which would be great for solid bags. If you know me, I love my solid bags. So first and foremost, before I go much more into a review, I kind of got to see what products they've sent me, guys. So let's hop over to the table. I'll open up the box and we'll see what they sent me, and then I'll kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be doing on the bank. So let's go and check that out. All right, guys, so here's the box I've got in front of me. Obviously, it's not been opened or anything, so let's see if I can't rip it open. I did bring a knife, but I don't think I'm going to need it, actually. Let's just open it up and see what products they've been kind enough to send me. Obviously well packaged, so if you order stuff from them, you're going to get it safely. That's another reason why I do actually like showing you guys me unboxing stuff. It's always good to see how people package stuff and send it to you. I think I might need to cut it, so let's just do that. Do the other side. I think that might be enough. Going to end up ripping this, guys, I think. There we go. Okay, so as you can see there, everything's safely packaged, which is always a good start. Now it looks like they've sent me their main stuff, which is their impulse liquid, and this is an amino acid feeding stimulant. This is a fish flavor one, guys, so that's cool. Sent me a second one, which is a sweet cream. Now I did see on their reviews about the sweet cream. I do know the guys were quite keen on it, and one of the things I'll show you all this on the bank, but I will tell you about it now. It has a little controller up the top there, which means you only feed that certain amount each time you fill that and I think that's per kilo, but I'll double check, guys. I won't try and read at the minute because I haven't got my glasses on and I'd be totally wrong more than likely. But it does say typical application is for pellets, ground bait and sweet corn. Important: use impulse dosed baits within 48 hours of preparation. Do not use impulse with any other amino acids or hydrolyte. Right. They've also sent me a gel, which is in the original. Now that would be fantastic in solid PVA bags for sure. And they've also sent me a few of these guides which explain exactly how to use it. I did just have a look on their website actually, guys. So I might actually put a couple of these screenshots up on the page so you guys have got this information to hand to help you make a decision whether you want to try these products out. But I have read all the blurb. I have watched a few videos like I've said before getting in touch with them, and it's all very interesting stuff. So, been kind enough to send me a few guides there. Guide to amino acids. Like I said, they are on their website, guys. There is a link below. I'm definitely going to be reading them in detail. Now, they've actually given me some, 2 packs of pellets. So 2 to 3 mil pellets. Now, these are their new pellets that actually have already been treated with the amino acid. So it actually says on the packet, amino acid feeding stimulant infused micro pellets in the original flavour. So these in a solid PVA bag will be an absolute winner. They've also given me the original in this, so it makes perfect sense. Solid PVA bag, that's something I'm going to be trying for sure this weekend, guys. Now they've also sent me, it looks like, they've sent me another thing as well, but another pack of 6 mil infused pellets. Now these would be fantastic to put a little bit of feed around the area. So already in my mind's eye I'm getting what I'm going to be doing it with. They've sent me another amino acid feeding gel, this time in fruit. I'll be interested to see what that smells like. Sorry guys, you're going to have to excuse me for a sec because it'll be off camera. Okay, yeah, very nice actually. It's not too sweet. So those are the products. Now obviously I like solid PVA bags, so I think this week I'm going to have to at least do 2 solid PVA bags, including the pellets, dose them with the feeding the area up with the 6 mils as well. Now also they also do a paste, guys, so you'd be wrapping your hook bait and stuff like that in that as well. So I haven't got it here, which is unfortunate because that might have been quite good to give a try around my hook baits, but I do think with what I've got here we're going to find out this weekend if it's going to make any difference. So as always guys, second part of this review is going to be on the bank, fingers crossed. First little one on the impulse baits. What a ditty. Hi guys, so welcome to part 2. Well actually I say part 2. It is part 2 with regards to how I'd normally do a review, but it won't be part 2 with regards to this review because as I may have hinted on already, I'm actually going to do one session at Mousehole using Biosource Bait's impulse range, and then another which I didn't actually know until last night at A12 Crouton Lakes in Essex. It's going to be Connor's birthday social next weekend, so I decided I'm going to do it over 2 weekends. Now this weekend I am literally using their impulse pellets, so these are 2.3 mils which I have put in a solid PVA bag, guys, and then before I put that out I use their impulse gel. These are all original flavour and these are original flavour pellets, and then what I'm going to do guys is literally a catapult worth. I'm sure I've got it here, so only a small little cup, it's not a big cup or anything, it's not a big catapult, it is actually a small catapult. So just a catapult worth of these 6 millers every half hour or so in the area of my 3 spots. So for each one, so effectively 3 of those, 1 over each rod every half an hour until hopefully I catch a carp. But like I said, I was here for 10 minutes and caught a gudgeon. That tells me something's happening, do you know what I mean? So yeah, happy days guys. Let's see how the rest of this review goes. Like I said, I am at Mousehole. I do think Mousehole's a bit of a hard place to test bait out, guys, if I'm honest. It's not a runs water or anything like that. Getting a single bite can be hard. So, but that's also why I think it's, I know they like to do a challenge where you have 1 rod on non-dosed pellets and 1 rod on dosed pellets, and But that's been done by Carpology, and they've done it very well, and they proved the point extremely well. I want to try it somewhere where it's really hard to catch a fish. It's not easy catching a fish at Mousehole. Sometimes you'll have a great session, sometimes you'll do the exact same thing and you'll have nothing. So this is really going to put these to the test this weekend, guys. So stay with me through the review here at Mousehole, and then again next week at Couton Lakes, where I won't be using these pellets. I've bought myself some Ringers 6 and 8mm pellets. I'm going to douse them with the other two flavours they gave me in their liquid, which are sweet cream, I believe, and fish. And I'm going to have one on one and one on the other. So look forward to that true second part, I guess, guys. This has got to be part one, doesn't it, I suppose? Or part one on the bank. And next week will be part two on the bank, I guess. So keep watching and we'll see how we get along with these. But obviously that bite within 10 minutes does give me some hope that obviously something happened. So yeah, keep watching, guys. Morning. So 4:30 Saturday morning, and apart from that gudgeon, I haven't had anything on the biosource baits. Now, if I'm honest, guys, I am asking an awful lot of it with it being in the swim I am in. So I'm actually in swim 7, and I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's a very powerful aerator to my right, which is basically causing a lot of flow going through my swim, a lot of flow. You can visually see it. So I'm sure those 6mm pellets probably aren't dropping exactly where I'm catapulting them. So I've just decided to do another 3 pouch worth off to the right, thinking that they'll probably flutter through going left. So fingers crossed, might be able to get a fish. Thanks for watching, guys. Morning, guys. Just going to give you a bit of an update on how the biosource baits review is going. Now, essentially, as I would have shown you yesterday, I chose to put all the baits within this area here, and unfortunately the flow from this area, I believe, is just pushing them all out the area. So that's been non-effective up to now. I haven't had anything. So
Alright, so this is where the rubber hits the road, as they say. Jason has been doing everything right in terms of fishing a lake. Okay, so he's using the correct dose of impulse. However, if you look at his swim there, it's almost like a river. He's got a good kind of like amount of water coming through from the waterfall slash aerator on his right there. Now this is really important, because what happens when you have flowing water, and we see this all the time on rivers with barbel anglers, is that you've got to up the dose of impulse, because you're literally not going to get to threshold. Impulse requires a certain minimum concentration in the swim, and frankly that's not been achieved by following the lake instructions when he's fishing essentially what's almost like a river situation. So, you know, bottom line is, unfortunately, Jason wasn't able to stimulate the fish because he didn't have enough impulse in the swim. This will get fixed on his next outing, quite dramatically so, as it turns out. But anyway, so there is this kind of important feature here. Okay, if you're fishing moving water, minimum twice the dose of impulse. Okay, so that's important. Okay, let's keep watching. I think I'm going to go for a new plan. Going to involve getting some 8mm pellets, dosing them up with their liquid. I think I'll probably go for the fish flavour, and I'm going to put a rig to the right side of the island. It is still in the way of that flow, but it should drive it into the island. Then if you go around the front of the island, there's some dead water just on the left hand corner underneath some branches that are sticking out, so I'll need the bait boat to get it right in there. And then the channel between that island and the next, I'm going to put one over there. So I am going to put a bit more pellet out. Like I said, I'm going to go and dose it up with the liquid. I will show you that in a moment, and then we're going to get them out with the bait boat. Alright guys, so as I said, I'm going to change my tactics slightly. I've gone and got myself essentially 1 kilo worth of pellet, mainly 8mm, and I'm going to be dosing it up with this stuff. So this is Biosource Baits Impulse Liquid. It is sort of their first product they came out with. I've decided to go for sweet cream. I was going to go maybe fish, but I've decided to go for sweet cream. Now, into 1 kilo worth of pellets, you're going to need to put 30mm, which is essentially 3 of these little containers you get in the top. There's a little filler there. So essentially you just fill these up, guys, to the top. Once it's there, just pour in that amount of liquid. I'm going to do 3 of them. Fairly straightforward, nothing difficult about it, guys. Alright, so Jason is doing a great job demonstrating how to dose pellets here. 30 milliliters per kilo, but remember, that's for a lake situation, right? He's fishing kind of something a bit more like a river, so that's not enough in this particular case. But, you know, great job showing how to use the product.
And then just give it a bit of a stir. Let me grab a stirrer. So just going to give them a good stir up, guys. Get that sauce all the way around them. I'm going to do this before I go for my walk around, guys. So I'm going to give them probably close to an hour for that to soak in a bit. So I don't want to use them straight away, but give them a little bit of time. And probably when I come back, I'll give them another little bit of stirring. So they do end up having a little bit of a gloss on them, guys, as you can see. So we're going to let that soak in a little bit and be back in about an hour and see how they are. Happy days. Okay, so I'm going into my second evening on Biosource Baits Impulse. Now, the first evening I did try their original 2.3mm pellets in the solid PVA bag, along with their original 6mm pellet that I was feeding every half an hour up to going to bed. And unfortunately, apart from that gudgeon, I didn't have anything. So today I've decided to switch it up a little bit. I've still got the 2.3mm original in the PVA bags, but I've gone and got some 8mm pellets, and I've treated them with the sweet cream. I believe I would have shown you that earlier, and I've literally put a half a scoop out, and then every half hour I'm going to be putting out a little catapult worth of pellets over the areas. So fingers crossed it will get me something tonight. Alright guys, well, I've sort of come to the end of my session at Mousehole Lakes, and I've got a couple of hours while I pack up, but I'm going to call a close now to this session. And so far I haven't caught anything bar that gudgeon on the Biosource baits. Now, I do believe the impulse range is good, does what it's meant to, but I did think being in this particular swim at Mousehole was going to be a challenge with the aerator going all the time and the flow of water. So yeah, it's been unfortunate. I mean, that said, there hasn't been loads of fish out on the whole of the lake either. So there's like 16 anglers on this lake. Only 2 anglers I know have had fish. So it's not been an easy weekend. So if that counts for anything, you know, it's worth taking into consideration, I think. So like I did tell you, I'm actually going to do this in 2 parts, because I did kind of think it was going to be a bit of a hard test at Mousehole on a pellet, and it's proved to be correct. So next week I am actually going to another lake, first time ever, A12 Couton Lakes in Essex, with Connor for a birthday social. So I'm going to use it there, and fingers crossed part 2 of this will have a better result. Hi guys, so welcome to what is technically, I guess, part 2 of the Biosource baits review. Now, just to let you know, I'm at a totally different site now. I'm not at Mousehole Lakes, I'm actually at A12 Lakes, which is right next to the A12. It's actually directly opposite me, and this is a place that's known for loving pellet. So I've done my 1 kilo of pellet that I've used with the Biosource Impulse liquid, and I've gone for fish this week. I tried the sweet cream at Mousehole, didn't do me any favours, but pellet's not really the right thing there. Got this pellet, this should do. So I haven't got the rods out, I haven't done anything, guys. I'm going to get all that done, but every rod is going to have a little bit of pellet. Now, my solid PVA bags have got the 2.3mm pellets in, and there'll be over a few of these as well. All of them's going to get put out in the bait boat tonight. I'll show you the spots. It'll be A, B, C, but for now, let's get crack-a-lacking. Afternoon. So this is kind of part 2 to the Biosource Baits Impulse review. Now obviously part 1 was at Mousehole Lakes and I didn't have a single bite. Part 2 has been at A12 Lakes, and it's been a totally different kettle of fish. This is a lake that is fed pellet, so the fish are used to pellet, and I'll tell you what guys, I've never had so many fish. Seriously, it's absolutely crazy. So I did get here late in the day yesterday, so guys, my eyes are sweating, it's so hot here, and it took me a bit of while getting everything set up, and then I had one of my rods taken out by my mates next door, so it was all a bit slow. But then it got to 12 o'clock last night and between 12 and 4 I had 4 fish. I had a double take and then I had 2 single fish. Guys, look at that little beauty. Show you the other one. Pressing her too much, guys. There you go. Nice little 13.5 pound. Look at that. Beautiful fish. Today I've had fish number 5, 6 and 7.
Alright, so Jason followed the script exactly in terms of bait preparation, and in his own words, he's quote unquote never had as many fish. Okay, so there's a glowing recommendation. And this is, he hasn't finished yet, right? So he's had a few now, but he's actually going to get a few more, right? So we'll kind of see what he does. But bottom line is, Jason is fishing with 2 friends, and he's going to outfish them by a large margin. Spoiler. Okay, so let's continue and see how he does.
And for the morning I had my rods out of the water. I literally put them back out, within 20 minutes I had another fish. Put them back out, had another fish, just was about to take some pictures of it, had another fish, so double takes again. So I really can say, if you go to a lake that is used to feeding pellet, the impulse infused pellets are absolutely smashing it. And I dare say I've got a lot more fish to come before I leave, for sure, or I hope so anyway. So at the minute, as it stands, it's looking very, very good for the biosource baits, but I will give you an update at the end, guys. Evening all. Well, it's 8:30 Saturday evening. Fortunately the sun's just starting to go down a bit and it's cooling down a little bit because it has been absolutely scorchio today, but it hasn't really slowed down for me today. So I had 4 during the dark hours last night and then 4 during today, basically, so the daylight hours. Obviously still daytime yet. So I mean, I can't remember when I've ever had 8 within 24 hours, guys. My ticket yesterday was sort of 6 o'clock. Didn't get rods out till, I'm guessing, more like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'd had 8 fish by then. Well, by a lot earlier actually. By about 5:30 I'd had 8 fish. So I have just redone 2 of the rods, one of the rods on a solid PVA bag, and I'm happy with it where it was. The other 2 I've only really put out or re-put out just so I can put in a bit more pellet with it, and that's it. I've stuck with the same spots the whole weekend, guys. I'll put them up again for you just to remind you. Spots A, B and C. Like I said, or I have said numerous times, I am also using a pellet this weekend that I've infused with biosource impulse liquid, and I do think it's made a big difference. I've never had a session like this before, so yeah, quite a great session for me. But I will tell you guys, also very tiring. I'm absolutely cream crackered. Did not have more than 2 hours sleep last night, and I'm just worn out, I've got to be honest. It's one of those, yeah, I want more bites. No, I don't want more bites. It's one of those scenarios. Seriously, I'm absolutely pooped. So going into the last evening, I'd like to say I'm already happy, guys. I mean, one of the pictures you would have seen already is this beautiful scaly mirror. Oh, what a fantastic fish. Absolutely lovely, lovely fish. I think that's also the biggest so far. It's 18 odd pound. So that's been the biggest so far. Be nice to maybe break the 20 pound mark before I leave tomorrow. As I may have already said, it's unlikely I stay till 6 PM tomorrow. Obviously this heat and all the rest is absolutely killing me. And obviously I've got work Monday, so I don't want to get back like 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow night and be absolutely knackered for work the following day. So it's unlikely I'll stay till 6 tomorrow, guys, but we'll see how the lay we'll see how the lay of the land is tomorrow. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this vlog. I am enjoying my time here. Connor, little update, Connor has had a mirror earlier, small one. I think he said about 6 or 8 pound. So he's off the mark with one on the bank. Unfortunately nothing for Frank so far, and really we both came with the hopes that Frank would be the one to get a 15+ pound fish under his belt. So still loads of time for that, so fingers crossed Frank will get into one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Well, that comes to the end of my review of biosource baits and their impulse range. So this session I did use their liquid to dose a kilo of pellets. In fact, I probably dosed about 2 kilos of pellets in the end, guys, and I can say it's been incredibly successful for me. I mean, I've never had a session, and it's not even 48 hours, but I've never had a session where I've had 11 fish, and that's what I've done on this one. 11 fish using biosource baits, impulse liquid. Obviously I did use it last week at Mouse Hole and it didn't do me any good, so I would, as a prerequisite, say, look, you know, try and go to venues where they're used to seeing pellet.
Alright, so Jason's conclusion that impulse pellets work on pellet venues is a good conclusion based on his previous experience at Mouse Hole. However, as we saw at Mouse Hole, there was the issue with the running water, and you know, so if he'd up the dose, I'm pretty confident he would add a similar result there too. But you know, on the whole, a very good interpretation of the results. Alright, let's keep going.
And I think you will absolutely smash it on this stuff. I've got to be honest, I will be keeping stock of it, and if I go in here where I think pellets used, I will 100% without any shadow of a doubt be using it. So firstly, massive thanks for Biosource for sending new stuff over. Really appreciate it. Good luck with your product. It's helped me out immensely this weekend. Thank you very much. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and I post every single Friday at 6:30.
Well, there we are. So Jason finished his weekend session with 11 fish, and I'm going to read his quote directly. Never had a session like this. I've never had so many fish. So two direct quotes from Jason there. Obviously, he had a successful experience with Impulse, and to his credit, he did really well in terms of bait preparation. He did exactly, followed the script exactly in terms of our instructions, so that was really good. In comparison to his compatriots there, he got 11 fish, and his friends got 0 and 1 respectively over the weekend. So obviously Impulse made a big difference for Jason. Alright, so if you've got any questions, feel free to drop us a line at info@biosourcebaits.com. Or, you know, if you want to kind of follow Jason, and I recommend you do, he has a very good YouTube channel and blog, JVA Carpy Adventures, and I'll leave a link for that as well. Alright, see you guys next time.